Welcome to Jillin Off with Jen Murphy.
It's called Jillin Off?
It's called Jillin Off. My normal co-host is Christina Walkinshaw, but she is currently out on the, what's the name of her? Oh, I Poop in Bars comedy tour.
Fun. All right.
So we're missing Walkinshaw for a little while.
Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds
So-
like a fun tour.
The person you hear speaking in her place, I should have just said you were Christina and if something happened to your voice.
Yeah, sure. I pooped in one too many bars. And
My my good friend, hilarious comedian, former club owner,
former club owner,
former booker. You've done it all.
motivational speaker.
Chris Bowers,
Hello.
or as he is in my phone, Bowers Indy.
Yeah. Bowers.
You're in my phone like a guy I slept with. I just put a name and a city.
Bowers Indy 2.5.
We have not slept together, but
Which is my rating. And, doesn't matter. Okay, so
I know I haven't been doing comedy long enough because there's not enough men with city names in my phone.
well, you know,
So, Bowers,
Hello.
welcome to Jillin Off.
I'm excited to be here.
When Christina's here, there's a lot more Jillin. You know, Jillin is the female term for jerking off.
Did not know that. That's where I was.
It's not that the podcast is all about that, but it's one
Gotcha.
of Christina's hobbies, daily hobbies, right,
So
Paul?
she poops in bars and then jills off.
She's big with that. So, and I am not. I do not own vibrators, and I do not masturbate hardly that often. So, we share stories.
I'm not a jerk off person either, to be honest. It's not. I never really like. I didn't until I was in college. Like not in high. Like I was one of the one few dudes in the whole world that just didn't do that as a. I don't know why. It just never occurred to me.
That is weird.
So I was like 19, and then, my girlfriend's 16 years younger than me, so I can't waste any. Like she wants to have sex way more than me, and so I can't like. If I jerk off on Tuesday, we're not fucking till Friday, and she's gonna be mad at me. Can I say fucking? Or what's this? I mean, I guess it's about
Yeah.
jerking off, so we can drop F-bombs, right?
Is it hot in your ears, like the sound, or is it just me?
Am I? Feel fine. Am I too loud?
Okay.
I might be
no.
too close.
No, I talk loud too. I just felt like I was coming in hot. Now I feel better. Oh shoot! We usually pop our beers. You did yours.
Oh, sorry. I
Okay.
didn't know it was a
That's
thing.
okay. Sometimes we perform at a lot of breweries, so we'll bring the beer from the brewery we performed at. But this
Gotcha.
week, this beer was bought by the liquor store down the street.
Which one did you get?
I got Voodoo Ranger IPA.
Nice, and I've
And
got
you are
a
a Coors
nice
Light
a
man.
nice lager from Colorado called Coors Light,
nice
which is my
lager.
favorite beer.
know.
I'm a beer snob the other direction. I only drink domestic light beers. That's all I drink because
know.
I want to have 17 of them.
Cheers.
So there you go.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for the beer.
So I wanted you to come on here so you could talk about comedy because you've done it all. And also, I'm curious about relationships, and I know you have a very special relationship because, or at least from what I think, I might be
Yes.
wrong, that you guys are very free. You have a lot of freedom in your relationship.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do a little flirting with other girls, and she won't get mad. Or
I would
anything.
say we're not monogamous. Like we're not swingers and we're not open. Like we're not going to date other people, but we're not monogamous. So if she goes to Senior Frogs on a trip to Cabo with her best friend Kaylee and fucks a bartender, I don't care.
Oh, it goes that far. Okay, I did
and
not
if
know that.
And if I do go now, I don't generally have sex with other people. That's just because that's not. I like doing other stuff than that. And there's like I don't know, whatever. But yeah, we're just not monogamous.
Because you guys seem to be very happy and free, and it doesn't seem like one of those.
You don't have to sacrifice. Our
Stressful.
goal is for not the other person doesn't sacrifice anything to be in a relationship with the other one, if that makes sense. So like, whatever she wants to do to make her happy, I'm happy. And same thing with us. We're both pleasers, but neither one of us. We're both good to each other. So I mean, like, I think it's good if both people are. You can't have a relationship where one person is into pleasing the other person, and the other person is into pleasing themselves. That's not going to be good.
Yeah,
right?
that's
So-
usually the story of my life.
And that's
yeah.
most pleasers
That's why
date
I'm
someone.
single.
Most pleasers date someone who's not a pleaser, and so
Ah.
there's a pleaser and a taker, and that's never going to work long term, right? Where
Gotcha.
when a pleaser dates a pleaser, like I just want her to be happy, she just wants me to be happy, and whatever that takes, we're okay with.
But has this kind of setup been every relationship in your life, or is this something new with her?
No, I mean I've been married twice. The first one was just a starter marriage, like 15 months, because I bet the over. It was over after 11.
I always wish I had a starter marriage.
Yeah, you should have.
I'm so bummed that I don't have a divorce under my belt.
I'm actually pissed I didn't have a kid with that first woman, because then I would have like only had to see it every so often. But I'd like have a kid that was in his 20s now, which would be fun.
I'd
know what
only
I
have
mean?
to see it every so often.
So I'm not cut out for daily fatherhood. You know, what I mean, that's not going to be my thing. But like,
That's
if
okay.
I could just come to soccer games and see it a couple times a month, and
And now
buy
he'd
it
be
presents.
on
And now
his
he's
own.
in his 20s, and he'd live in LA with me, and we'd party balls, and I'd be like wing dad or whatever. But
The American dream.
wing dad. Anyway. Me and my buddy Ryan McManus actually want to do a web series called Wing Dad, where he goes out and I come up and I'm the asshole, and then he like pushes me away and like saves the girl so she likes him, and the next morning she comes downstairs and I'm like cooking eggs, and she realizes that this was a
That's
whole
so
thing.
funny.
But yeah, so then my second marriage. Basically, what I learned after my first marriage is, look, I'm a great husband. I'm a great boyfriend. I know your shoe size, I know your ring size. I'm romantic. I want to hang out with you all the time. I'm not a let's go out with just the guy's guy. I want you to be there. I love hanging out with you. But occasionally I'm going to get drunk and make out with other people. And if you can't handle that, then you shouldn't be with me because it's like I can go on a diet and lose a bunch of weight, but eventually I'm going to eat a pizza.
So you went into your second marriage saying that?
I said went to my relationship, my second marriage, saying that.
Yeah,
we were together
okay.
10 years and it started that way. Now I will say that she said it was cool, but eventually it hurt her feelings. Like it wasn't as like with Chrissy and I, it's completely mutual. Like we're totally both good.
Yeah, because I
Like,
think
for real
it
good.
sounds like a good idea. Not everybody can emotionally handle it.
Like I'll give this is a so I don't know if I guess I can tell this. So basically, she has a dude that like sends her money and gifts and stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And so he's been sending her a bunch of stuff for Christmas. So the other night she went out like I was out of town. I was in Indy, so she went out with a bunch of friends of mine, and like they ended up partying balls till like 7 a.m. She like stayed on a buddy's couch or whatever, and she's like, yeah, the dude that sent her friends, like I texted him, said I was in bed at 11:30, so I have to act like I got a good night's sleep, or he'll be real mad at me today when we open all my presents. And I'm like, it's so funny that you can't tell your fake boyfriend your real life, but your real boyfriend knows the whole story.
Oh, the
Like,
fake one doesn't know about you?
No, he knows about me, but he doesn't know she's going out and part. Like he would be mad, he'd be jealous if she was out partying with other dudes that weren't me.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm like, go girl, have a fun time. So I just think that's a fun dynamic. But that I don't know, that's just our life.
Are you just missing the jealousy gene in your head? Like, have you ever felt jealous, or is it just something you don't have? How does it work?
To me, jealousy is insecurity. Like, oh, by the way, let me say
Well,
this.
not if somebody's sleeping with somebody else.
There's a big. Well, here's what I'm saying. There's a big difference between, like, jealousy is okay. So you walk into a room and your significant other is fucking someone else. Okay, that is, if you don't like that, doesn't mean you're jealous. That means you're a normal person. I wouldn't want to see it. You know what I mean? And she wouldn't want to see it. What I'm saying is, jealousy is when I think you're cheating when you're not. That's jealousy. Jealousy is that, like, but like, now.
I agree it is insecurity, but if you wouldn't want to see it, then how
What
are
I'm
you
saying
okay
is,
with it?
because I know she's not going anywhere. I think the reason also, too, is because we have these taboos, right? And it's this like, oh, my God, this unbreaking thing. And by the way, first of all, part of this is our deal. This is what we've agreed to,
Yeah.
right? So, like, if she was doing something that we hadn't agreed to, then maybe I'd be upset, or vice versa. I don't know. I think part of it's setting your boundaries and your ground rules and having real conversations with people and telling them what you want, what you need.
Yeah.
And then if they're like, well, I can't give you that, then being okay to be, okay, well, I need to find somebody who does. I think part of the problem is we lie to each other and we go, oh, no, I never want to sleep with anybody else ever. No, sleeping with other people is awesome. There's nothing better than making out with a new person. That's the best thing in the whole world. So if I can be in a great relationship where I'm happy all the time and I have a person and I'm not, but I also don't have to give up my favorite thing, then why wouldn't I do that? But you do that by setting the ground rules or whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it makes total sense. I just feel like
So what I'm saying is,
there's
like,
only a small amount of people I think that can make it successful, don't you?
well, probably. And again,
Because I've seen people try and fail a lot.
but also I think too, there's this thing. I mean,
Right?
I don't know if Chrissy and I will be together forever.
How long has it been? Like 7 or 8 years?
9. We've been together
Oh,
9
yeah,
years.
well,
I mean, so we're
that's a long
good. But
time.
my second marriage, I was Angela. We were together for 10 years. So I mean, but if you had 5 10-year relationships in your life, I think that'd be a great life. I don't think to have one 60-year relationship is what you have to have. If it happens, great. But I think that we have the idea that two people are going to grow and change in the same speed in the same direction for 50 years is pretty insane. That to me seems harder than just being able to sleep with other people. Like to fucking.
No, I like your plan. I'm just curious because I don't think a lot of people could pull it off.
No, I get it. And when I talk about with people, they just can't handle it. But like, I don't know. I mean, the way I've always had a weird way of looking at it. But here's my thing. Like, okay, if I'm afraid that if Chrissy sleeps with someone else, then she's going to leave me for that person. That's why I don't want her to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would say she's done that however many times she's done it and never left. So why would I be afraid of that now?
Yeah.
Like on some level, I have less fear because if you never sleep with anybody and then you meet that one guy from your office and all of a sudden he kind of tickles your way and then, oh my God, and then you sleep together and it's this big deal and you've broken all these trusts, you're way more likely to leave in that scenario, which is what I don't want to happen. The thing I think is crazy is you don't want your significant other to cheat on you because you're afraid they're going to leave. And then when they do and don't leave, you break up with them. It's like, well, you just did the thing you were afraid of. You know, it'd be like if I'm afraid to fly because I don't want to die in a plane crash. The plane crashes, you don't die, and then you shoot yourself in the fucking head because you're so scared of plane crashes.
Is it also a bit of like a, I don't know, Buddhist is the right word, or some sort of thing where you're like, if it's meant to be, if she's here, she's here. If she has to leave, then that's her. Like that's her path.
1,000%.
Like
1,000%.
you have no control issues. I guess
And I
trying to
don't-
control the
And what I'm saying is,
situation.
whatever's supposed to happen is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And also too, I just want her to be happy. If it's with me, awesome. If it's not, that would make me sad. But by the way, I'm always going to be happy. I'll find some. I'm not afraid of being alone. I'll find another amazing woman who wants to be with me. So if it works out where it's not her, I mean, I don't want that to happen in this moment in my life. I love her a bunch and she loves me and it's great. But I want her to be happy. I think it's so funny when you date somebody and you love them, quote unquote, and they break up with you and you want them to die. Well, you
Yeah.
didn't love them. You loved the idea of them or what they gave to you. That was a very selfish love.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's an unselfish love to be able to say, look, go. I don't want you to not. Again, I'm 46. She's 30. She's just hitting her sexual. Like, if you want to go out and be sexy and do your go, I don't want to hold you back from that because you're dating a fucking guy that's 16 years older than you. That'd be crazy, you know. So go do your thing and be happy. And I hope to be around.
I feel like we should have Freebird playing in the background of this podcast.
I mean, you know,
Just ever so slightly. Okay, one more. Well, not one more. I'm sure I have a lot more. Is it one of those where if she sleeps with, I'm thinking the answer is going to be no. Is it one of those where if she sleeps with someone, you get turned on if she tells you details? Because I know that a lot of people do that. But I feel like with
that's
you,
not-
you don't want to
nah,
know.
that- I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't need that.
You don't
no.
want any
I mean,
details, right?
it's. I will say that if because something else happened, whether it's sexual or not, she develops a thing that she likes now. She has a need of some kind. She's like, actually, if you could do this, then I'm totally willing to do whatever that is she needs.
You don't mind if she learns it from somebody else.
Yeah, and say, hey, actually, if you do, I mean, I'd love the tips. You know, whatever I can do to make her.
Oh my God, I love this song.
Play Freebird. Yeah, this is the soundtrack to my life. But
One of the first guys I ever fell in love with when I was like 22 in New York, this was his song, his favorite song. Like, he introduced me to it. I mean, I'm sure I had heard it probably, but.
sure.
And and he told me, he goes, I'm not gonna fall in love with you. Like, I'm not. And this was like his song, and I was like, whatever. And then we had this like amazing 3 months, and then he was like, I'm out, bye. And I was like, fucking Freebird.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, man.
It's awesome.
So yeah, so I mean, but again, I'm not advocating this for anybody else. I'm just saying that for me, I will. And what's actually okay to give you just full disclosure, for 9 years, I didn't know exactly how because I thought I was doing whatever I was doing, and I didn't know whether she was. And we had a big like talk about 2 months ago, and she was like, "No, here's what I've been doing."
No
and
wonder I'm
it-
confused, because you told me you just made out with some people, so I
right,
didn't
and so
know.
we changed our but literally it like. Instead of being upset, it absolved me of all my sins, and I felt like a way better person. Like we're in a better relationship. Like I'm glad we had that conversation.
So you weren't mad that she hadn't told you for so long?
No, because she's like, I thought this we were doing the whole time, and I'm like, no, it was. Yeah, no, there's no reason I can be mad. This is what I've been telling this the whole time. I just didn't know so it's like, great, cool.
If you
know?
die, can I have your brain?
Yeah, sure.
All right, because I have to worry about everything, and you seem.
Well, I mean, I mean, what good does that do?
Well, I'm not saying it does any good. It's
So
however your
that's-
brain's wired.
Well, that's not true. I
I
truly
can-
believe you can make your brain think whatever you want your brain to think.
Well, as I get older, it gets easier.
I mean,
But
I
I
think
mean,
there are people with chemical depression. There are people that have bipolar stuff, and I get all that, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to
I have
dissuade.
obsession.
But like most of the time, whatever you tell your brain is what your brain will listen to. You just have to tell your brain over and over again to
Yeah,
not be stupid.
I guess it's retraining.
Yeah, it's about retraining. It's about, I mean, and I've kind of always thought this, but there's been moments in my life where like something clicked in my brain and I just became a different person. I mean, like I used to be super angry and like had a temper and I would like get all shitty about stuff. And then there was just one day, there's just a moment in my life. I was like 19. I worked at a law firm. And
That early it happened?
Yeah, I was like, so I was
I thought
19.
you were going to say like 37.
No,
Who
I
has a
was-
revelation at 19?
Well,
Also, why were you so angry by the age of 19?
Well, because I wasn't popular in high school and middle school, and I wasn't good at sports, so I would like kick the basketball into the woods or beat tennis rackets on the ground, and I just was and my dad's a super hothead, angry dude. Like my dad, 80% of what my dad says is complaining about shit, and so I was just in that mold. And then I remember this clear as day. My favorite uncle on my mom's side. I worked at his law firm. I was a runner, which means you like just deliver shit to courts, which was cool. And so I just worked at this law firm. I'm 19. I wanted to be a lawyer at that time. I just worked with lawyers. It was super fun. My fun uncle was there. He let me drive his Lexus. You know, like it was this super job. So one day I had a run, which is, you know, we go to a court, but it was in Columbus, Ohio. I worked in Dayton, Ohio. That was awesome because they paid you mileage money. So it's $128 cash, okay, to run to Columbus back. Plus, I'm in a car all day. It's summer, top down. I mean, the windows
Nice.
open, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so it's an awesome thing. And it was like a Friday, so I was going to have money for the weekend. It was just going to be I was super pumped. So I'm driving down the road, and I had to get gas, and I pulled in the gas station. It was before they had the pay at the pump thing, and it was one of these gas stations where you had to pay first. That was back in the day. I remember you had to just pay first because
yeah,
they
I
didn't
remember.
trust you. And I fucking hated that, man. So I get out of this car, and I fucking slam the door, and I kick the garbage can over, and trash goes over. And I literally, there's a thing that just snapped in my brain, and I was like, God, you're an asshole. You have this awesome job.
I
You're
can't
on this
picture
great
you as that guy.
run. You're driving your uncle's Lexus for free. He's got a gas. You're putting the gas on for free, and then taking gas money, $120, which he's going to let you keep. And you're going to kick over a garbage can because you can't have to pay your gas for that you're not even paying for? What the fuck is? And I remember I picked up the garbage can and I put it on, and that was the last time I was ever super pissed. I just was like, what am I doing with my
Wow,
life?
that's young to have that revelation.
And it took a couple. You know, there was times where I would get mad and I have to go, no, hey, this is just you being your dad. Stop doing that, and I would just stop. You know, but I mean,
You're pretty lucky.
I stopped being ticklish when I was 8.
Well, you've really been missing out.
No, I didn't like being tickled, so I just.
Being tickled as an adult is one of the most terrifying feelings.
Oh, see, I love tickling Chrissy because she hates it. It's like our favorite thing. I love.
Why is it so scary? I had an aunt that would grab my knee, and it looked like it's supposed to make you laugh and be funny, but there's a pain. To me, there's like a pain involved in tickling.
There's a surprise pain. Like Chrissy doesn't like it,
I think
but
it
she
feels
laughs.
invasive. Like I feel like I'm being violated.
But I remember I don't remember who tickled me, and I don't think it was like a nefarious thing. I wasn't there was, but I remember I didn't like being tickled, so I worked on slowing my breathing down. So I would have my brothers and sisters try to tickle me, and I would breathe through it so I wouldn't be. And I eventually stopped being ticklish when I was like 8 years old.
Oh, that's odd.
So I think your brain can do whatever your brain wants, I guess is what I'm saying. And that's what most people.
Well, no, the brain is extremely powerful. I do believe that.
I don't think people think they can control their brain as much as they can. The thing that makes me happy and the person I am is I learned a long time ago, I can make my brain think whatever the fuck I want my brain to think. I'm in charge of my brain. And you just tell it over and over again until you go, no, that's not an issue.
I don't have that yet.
Well, but I don't think if you knew you had it, you would have it.
Well, I used to, let's say I used to completely have 0% control. Now I think I have 65.
Okay. And what are the things you don't have control over?
Because now when it starts going crazy, I know it's going crazy. But it used to just be my brain went crazy and I didn't know that. I couldn't step outside and see and be like, all right, just don't text anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what you want to do? You're like, no, this isn't reality.
And I've had two times in the last 5 years where I'll be sleeping and I'll have a really kind of weird dream, and you wake up and you go back to sleep and you're in the same dream again, and you wake up and you're in the same dream, and it's like whenever you have a good dream, you can't ever get back to it once you wake up. Like when you're about to fuck somebody awesome, you're like, where was that person? You never get back to it. But the minute
I always
you're
try and go back to
right,
dreams.
the minute you're stuck on stage and everyone's leaving your show or whatever, then you go right back to sleep and you're right back there. You're like, God damn it, why did I relive the bad ones? But I've woken up a couple times where I'm like, I may never sleep again because I'm just going to keep going to this dream, and my brain and I start having literally a panic attack, and then in my head I'm like, no, this is a panic attack. This isn't real.
Yeah.
You'll be able to sleep. Calm down, slow your breathing down, and I'll take a walk around the block, and I'll watch a little bit of The Office or West Wing or whatever that calms me down.
Yeah.
And then eventually I'm like, and so I've had panic attacks that I've talked myself out of within 15 or 20 minutes. Now that's not saying that someone has a severe panic issue. That's not what I'm talking. But I'm saying it is possible.
Yeah. Well, I think with age comes more self-awareness, right?
I mean, I've just always kind of been this way. I'm saying I've always been self-aware. I've always been, there's always somebody worse than you. Worse off, I mean. So, no matter how bad shit gets, at least you don't live in Afghanistan. I've always thought that since I was 16. So you're a nerd in middle school and girls don't like you, but hey, you could have no legs. I've just always kind of thought that.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of kept me,
Yeah. You also have a very interesting quality that I don't, I feel like some comedians have it, but I don't think the majority has it, where you seem to be exactly the same on stage as you are off stage.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all my comedy. I mean, that's how I write. I write a ton, but all I really do is go live live. So I wrote a line a couple weeks ago where I go, here's what comedy is for me. Comedy is where sober me tells drunk people what drunk me thinks, says, and does.
Say that one more time.
Comedy is
I've had a
where-
few sips of beer.
Comedy is where sober me tells a room of drunk people what drunk me thinks, says, and does.
Got it. Oh, got
So
it.
I just wander around drunk,
Perfect.
and do crazy shit and say
Write-
crazy stuff.
write all your jokes
and
when
then I
you're
just
drunk?
and then I just well, not all, but I'm saying I just have a conversation with somebody and I'll go, well, that was funny, and I'll write it down in my book or whatever, and then I try it on stage. I mean, so it's like,
Well, what I mean though also is, there's a lot of, let's just say, a comedian that's super likable on stage and looks all fun and nice, and then in the green room you find out like he's a complete asshole. Or
Well-
even, and it doesn't have to be that extreme, but even like my family, like my mom, whenever she introduces me to someone new, or she said, "Oh, she's a comedian," she goes, "You should see her on stage. She's completely different on stage." And I'm like, "Oh, am I that
I
different?"
don't think you're that different on stage.
I don't know.
Like, you're a little bit
But I
more...
have had a lot of people comment that which it's fine. I don't mind that I'm different. I'm just saying you are completely like across the board the same.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
comedians that
Yeah.
comedy is maybe like, it's probably for me. A lot of us, it's more of an escape of being somebody.
Yeah, I think
Like
comedy...
if I'm super shy off
Right.
stage, then on stage I'm like, oh, now I'm in control. Now I got this.
Yeah, there are a lot of people I think that came from comedy from a lack of people skills, and that's not where I came up comedy from.
Yeah.
Like, I basically used to be this guy at parties, and I would go around a party and tell the same story 7 times. And I thought, you know what? If I just went on stage and told this once to everybody now, I wouldn't have to repeat it.
You're a comedian out of laziness.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll just tell this story once, and then we'll get drunk.
There's too many people that want to hear my great stories.
So I'll just tell. Yeah, I mean, that's really where it came from. I mean, so yeah, I'm not. I
That's
don't think
funny.
I'm much different. I mean, like, I wear a tuxedo every day on stage, but wear a tuxedo every day everywhere. Like, that's just what I dress like. I
You
mean, I
are the
just-
only person in LA that dresses fancy.
Well, the only comic, sure. I mean,
The only comic. Yeah, I'm
every
sorry.
comic probably dresses like they're in high school.
I'm
for
sorry.
Sure.
I should have
But,
said
like,
not the only person in LA,
Yeah,
but
there are Persians.
for anybody that's watching on YouTube, because this comes on YouTube, and,
yeah.
and Paul will post a pic for us, that this is his normal attire
Yeah, I've
when he performs.
Yeah. Not even when I perform.
Can we see your shoe?
Can we see the shoe? I'm
Is
gonna-
it possible?
Yeah, I can pop it off. Hang on. So the shoe matches.
Sorry for my
all right.
snot noises.
So the shoe has to match. So that I've got a red sequin jacket with red sparkly shoes, and I have this in blue and red.
It is the day after Christmas. I know
That's
this
why I
won't
wore-
come out till Monday.
That's why I
but
wore the red one, because it was still Christmas. I was going to wear
that's
the
what
blue.
I figured.
But
No,
but
blue
yeah.
is New Year's.
But also, this is not on me on stage. I wear this if it's dark outside, I'm in a tuxedo. Like, I just don't wear
oh, every night? I thought it was
every
performing.
night. No, it's not performing. Like Saturday, I was in Indianapolis, and my friend Sarah was staying at her house, and I'm like, hey, can you leave a key under the mat? Because I'm going to have to come back and change clothes. And because I just went and I was hanging out writing jokes. I had a pair of jeans on and just a track jacket or whatever. And then I got back to her house, and she'd forgotten, and she went to work. And so when she got to the club, she's like, are you okay? I'm like, Sarah, I am in day clothes at night. I am in day clothes at night, Sarah. I cannot handle being in day clothes at night. And I was just kidding, but like, I do like.
But
to
do you have
be-
that comic thing where you think you're not going to be as funny? Because I know I feel like certain clothes.
I will say this: it is not about funny. It's about
Are you superstitious? Is what I'm saying.
no. There's one tuxedo I won't wear because I always bomb in it. But
Okay, so you do
there
have
is
that a little
some of
bit.
that. But I think it's actually the tuxedo. I think it's so out there that like people are like, who the fuck is this guy? And I have to dig out of that hole. And if I don't specifically address it,
It
you
could
know,
throw them off for 1
throws
second.
them off a little bit. Especially if you're in like rural Indiana and you show up to a fucking Eagles Lodge in a fucking tuxedo and they're like, what the hell? It ain't prom, dog. But
Paul usually only wears tuxedos too.
yeah, right.
Paul, will you hand me a paper towel? I'm sorry to interrupt this, but
That's okay.
there's about to be an explosion out of my nose. Is
Uh-oh.
what I'm trying to say. I'm about to Jill out of my nose. Oh, you got real Kleenex.
Look at that.
Oh, you're so fancy.
This is a high tech operation we got here.
Paul also gave us shots of
Yeah,
Fireball
you
for
wanna do
Christmas.
the fireball shot?
Should
You wanna-
we?
Should we?
Are we going to get crazy? I'm only going to do like half of it. I'll tell you the truth. I don't do a whole thing at once.
That's fine.
See, I told you.
I don't judge. Look, we're adults. You can drink as much or as little as you want. I don't care. I'm drinking a bunch.
Oh, I
so-
forgot you weren't controlling.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink a bunch. So I don't need you. It's like when people are gonna leave the. I gotta have a drink. I'm like, we can leave it. We're adults. It's not. This isn't a college party where I'm gonna give you shit if you leave half a beer on the table. If you're done, be done. I don't care.
I don't trust people that leave alcohol. It's weird. Oh, we should have poured just a tiny bit out.
For our homies.
This was Zoran.
For Zoran.
Zoran.
We're gonna talk all about Zoran, but.
We've talked about him a little bit, me and Christina.
So, but no. So the reason this is what about nighttime clothes. Well, I like standing out. I always have. I've never wanted to blend in with the crowd. Right. When I talk to high school kids and middle school kids, that's one of the things they do. Is I talk about You know, I remember I was like 11 years old the first time I heard somebody go, he's like everybody else. He puts on his pants one leg at a time. And from that day to
Oh,
this
that's
day, I sit
hilarious.
on my bed both legs at the same time. I don't want to be a normal person. This coat makes friends. When I'm out in a pair of jeans and a T-shirt, I'm a 46-year-old middle-aged dude
Yeah,
at a bar with a bunch of 20-year-olds. What do I have to fucking offer any of them?
that's
Nothing.
true. Yeah.
But in this outfit, like, you know, this is my act now, but I mean, literally, I was Sean Latham and I were at Arizona State. You know, we were at the Tempe Improv in Arizona State, and his girlfriend was in town, so they went to bed early. So I'm in a college bar by myself, 46 years old,
It was all college students?
all college. It was a fucking karaoke pizza bar on campus, right?
Oh, on campus.
On campus. And this coat paid for itself in shots in 4 hours. Like, literally.
serious?
Yeah, I met everybody, dude. Girls at tables, come sit with us. That jacket's amazing. Oh my God, their shoes match. Holy shit.
College kids buy shots for people?
Fuck yeah. If they wear coats like this, they don't buy them for guys in cargo shorts, I'll tell you that.
I would think they'd be like a cheaper budget or something.
Well, it's college. I mean, so a round of shots is $6. I mean, it's like
Oh, that's
you know,
true.
in Arizona. I mean, come on.
Okay, but I also have to ask, why did you decide to go to a bar that was on a campus, a college campus?
What are you talking about? Where else would I go? A
Would
bar
you
with a bunch
looking
of-
for young girls, I mean?
Yes. Not. I'm saying I like young people. What am I going to go stand around a bar with a bunch of 40-year-olds talking about their fucking yards and their kids? No, I'm going to go hang out with people singing karaoke. And,
Oh, so you do prefer to hang out with college kids?
right? I mean, like,
Oh my God, the perfect riff.
right? This is the song when Jenny's on the fucking balcony at Forrest Gump when she's about to jump off and she's all coked up.
It is!
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Oh my God, that's so
I feel
funny.
I feel like Jenny on that balcony a lot.
I do too. Too much.
Just about to fall off, but still having a great time. Anyway, but no, I mean, now. By the way, the hotel was by the campus.
Wait, I just want to make sure that line doesn't get lost because it's so great. Just about to fall off, but still having a great time. Jenny on the ledge. Oh my God. I gotta write that down for the title. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
but
You
that's-
kind of swallowed the line. It's like when David Tell throws out those great lines, but he says them under his breath, and you're like, no, say it into the mic.
Yeah, I've always felt like Jenny on that balcony, about to fall off, but still having a great time, which is pretty
my
solid. That's
God.
probably how that was just a riff, but yeah, okay, that's pretty how
So
much of my
you,
life is.
okay, I did not know this about you, that you prefer to hang out with
Well, no, here's what I'm saying.
college. So they're just more fun. Is that
I'm
what you're saying?
I always go to bar. Well, by the way, most bars are full of people under 30, right? There's not a lot of fun bars that are people in their 50s. That's not happening, right?
Unless you go to Nashville. Have you been to Nashville?
I have been, yeah.
I went there for the first time. There's party,
Yeah, they party balls everywhere.
Jesus.
I mean, I have a
but a lot of older people I mean, it's 40s, mostly 40s. I felt like party, and a bunch of bachelorette parties.
yeah, a bunch of bad. My favorite story is, did you see this year when for the first time they had the NFL draft in Nashville?
Yeah.
And so there's 8 billion just fat football watching guys. And then the bachelorette parties that didn't know that and went to Nashville and were just overrun by NFL football fans.
heard
Like,
they were
Oh my
pissed.
God, this was so terrible. We came for the bachelor party. There's all these fucking football guys. Like they purposely left their stupid husbands they're going to marry that look like these
Yeah.
dudes to go to have one last party night, and then it's just all their stupid husbands and boyfriends are there.
That is so funny.
So what I'm saying is, like, again, this is I don't mean to talk in bits, but like everything I talk, this is what happens. I have these
You can
conversations.
talk in bits.
So, but I have a bit, like, the older you get, the smaller the radius you party in, right? So, like, in your 20s, you'll party anywhere. You'll go to Germany for a rave. Fuck it,
Yeah.
let's go, right? In your 30s, you become what I call a special event party, or so. It's got to be like a thing. It's somebody's birthday. It's St. Patrick's Day. You got divorced. There's a reason. In your 40s, you become like an invisible fence partier, like the dogs with the collars, where, like, you'll party balls, but only on your own property. Right? So, like, you'll go to a party and have a drink and then come home and get all fucked up all by yourself. 'Cause
That is hilarious.
right? In your 50s and 60s, you have one room in your house you drink in, right? It's your basement, it's your garage, but you got a party room. By the time you're 80, you just have a drinking chair where you just, like, sit there. You're like, bring Pop a beer, and you just don't ever move from this little circle. That's where you party. So if you're going to party a lot in bars, you're going to hang out with people in their 20s and 30s. You're not going to hang out with a bunch of people in their 40s. In general, right? I mean, there's not a lot of super fun bars, and except for Nashville. I'll give you Nashville, but like everywhere else in America, the people that are partying are in their 20s and 30s. So you got to be able to go there
Yeah.
if you want to party. Because I literally don't want to talk about your yard or your kids. So
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
if I go to a I can go to a B-Dubs. There's a bunch of 45-year-old dudes there that are my age. But what the fuck am I going to talk to those guys about?
Or it's like pretentious bars in LA.
Yeah, I'm not that.
I'm so
weird.
intrigued by the dog with the collar. So why do you think in your because I just noticed recently that I started doing that, where I'll be out having a drink and I'm like, I'm gonna go home. I have to wake up early, and really, I just have more drinks. I'm like, why would I rather do it by myself?
I think it's transportation. I think there's a moment in your life you're like, I'm gonna fucking have to Uber or drive. I don't want to
Play
drive
Uber
drunk anymore."
anyway if I'm gonna.
Yeah, but well, I guess I don't. If you're in an Uber already, then I don't know why. Well, maybe it's because the drinks are. You're gonna spend $40 more on drinks when you're not.
When I
Like,
have a beer at home. Yeah.
Why are you? And the part of the reason is why are you out? Like
I'm
I
not
love.
saying I go home and drink a bottle of Jack Daniels, but I will go home and
Yeah.
have another beer. And I'm like, how come I didn't have that out socially? Why did I not?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm saying that's where I don't. I never drink by myself. I never drink at home.
You might be right. It might be the money thing.
It could be money. It could be. I just like to be out with. I just like, but I also just love meeting people. Like most comics don't like people.
How did you come up with that joke if you never drink at home alone? Because that's a really good joke about the dog.
That's all my friends. It's my friends.
Oh, so you know that your friends are going home and getting
Yeah.
fucked up.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, all my friends in their 40s, they just get home. If I want to get drunk with them, I have to go to their house. They're not going to get drunk.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, I know that I also watch them leave parties, and I know they're not done. And they go home and drink by themselves. And I'm like, you aren't. It's like when a comic tells me he's going to go, like when I used to own the club, and I'd try to get comics to come drink with me, they'd be like, no, I'm going to go back to my room and write. I'm like, you are fucking not going to go back to your room and write.
Yeah, you're going to turn on the TV.
So the next day I was like, what were those jokes you're going to write, bro? Like, tell those jokes you wrote last night when you didn't come hang out. Oh, you didn't write any jokes, did you? Because you went back, you masturbated, and you fell asleep because you hate people and you're a weirdo. Like,
You hate people and you're a weirdo.
I just like people, man. I like them all. I like the bad ones. I like the good ones. I like the stupid ones. I like the smart ones. I'm either learning or I'm teaching. I'm just hanging out. I mean, if I hang out with people in their 20s and I can give them advice and I can make them have a good time and get over some of their bullshit things, great. If I'm hanging out with people in their 50s that have knowledge, fucking awesome. I'll listen to them tell me what it's, their things. I mean, I just like to, but I just like all people. I'm never really annoyed by people.
Well, that's good.
I
That's
have
a very good skill to
I have a
have.
high tolerance for people.
That's good. I feel like I have a high tolerance for people as long as they don't want me to talk to them.
So you're just good at standing next to people?
No, I have a very low tolerance when a stranger will try and talk and then just ask like a series of mundane questions.
Okay. You know how you combat that.
How?
Ask them questions you're interested in.
Okay, that's a good plan.
Like people hate when their Uber driver talks to them. Yeah, when you have an Uber driver, it's like, so the weather, right? Nah, the traffic. But if you're like, so what's your deal? And they're like, well, I drive this. I have a secondary job. I mean, I've met so many Uber drivers that had where they're like, yeah, and my wife, she left me, so I had to do this, and I'm paying off my kid's college, and he's.
Oh yeah, I've had that too.
And it's just like I love hearing people's stories. I don't want to talk about the weather. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about. It's like every time you get in a line, there's some other dude in that line talking about other lines he's been in. It's like, dude, I don't care about your lines. Shut up. Let's.
My biggest pet peeve is people who tell me stories about other people that I have not met, I'll never meet. Like they'll tell you, my stepmom does this all the time. She tells me these like long drawn out stories about her coworker. And I'm like, there's nothing I'm doing with this information.
Right.
I don't know this person. I'll never meet
And there's
this
no
person.
punchline. It's not like a funny story or a story that like
No.
you're gonna go, she did what? It's not
No.
like then Linda
No.
from work got eaten by an alligator. You're like, oh fuck, really? That's something you
Oh
want to
no,
hear. But
it's
if
about
she's
a
like,
trip to Costco.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'll go on for like 15 minutes and I'm like, I get like anxiety. Like I'm not, this is just useless information going into my brain
Yeah.
right now.
Like my least favorite kind of comic is a guy who tells you times that he about other crowd work he did. One time I was at a show and I asked if anyone was celebrating, and this guy said, "Blah," and then I said, "Boom!" It's like, are you really gonna fucking tell us a joke about time you were funny off the top of your head? Shut up! Quit telling about other crowd work you did another time.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's hilarious.
So but yeah, I like people. I like being out there. I like
I think
meeting
I had
people.
some other notes for you, but I don't know if they are. Oh, we probably did them all. What are you
What?
doing for New Year's?
We probably did them all. By the way, this is Jen. Listen. This is what I think. This is Jen Murphy in a nutshell. She's trying really hard to be interested, but at the end of the day, she doesn't really fucking care. That's what I'm like. You're like, what else did I have? I probably did it all anyway. And I love that. I mean,
Are you saying I'm not interested in you?
I'm saying I think that like there's a point where like you're
No.
trying to be
No.
a person who. I'm just saying like you're for this. I'm not saying
I
in this
didn't want to take away from the
not-
podcast by reading.
No, I get that. I'm not saying in this exact conversation. I'm saying I think you're interested in what I have to say, and it's a podcast. But I'm saying is when you're talking to someone at a party You're trying really hard
Oh, yeah.
to be
I
interested,
don't
but at
give
the
a
end of the day,
fuck.
you're like, we've probably already looked at all my notes. I probably am done already. I'm saying that's
But
that's
I'm interested in you because you're my friend.
well, because we're on a podcast. That's what I think is also fun about
It's not
millennials.
because we're on a podcast.
I know, I'm kidding you, but
And I'm not a millennial.
You are really.
I'm the same age as you almost.
Yeah, we're both millennials. What I'm saying is we're
We're not millennial. Paul's a millennial.
I'm saying emotionally we're millennials.
No, I don't want to. I feel like when you start to read, then the podcast kind of stops. Like
I
there's
get what you're
so
saying.
I was gonna read some notes I made, and then I was like, I don't want to do
But
it because I don't want to stop the
but
flow.
I'm interested in the notes you have on me. I want you to know when you thought you were going to
You
interview
think I'm a
me,
bad person who hates everybody?
I don't think you're a bad person. I think you're a great person. I'm just saying when you're on that ledge sometimes.
No.
But I'm interested in what notes you had
I
written down.
honestly think that we covered them all. That is why I threw it down because I
Okay.
wrote down the relationship freedom. This is what
Okay.
I wrote. Chris Bowers in relationship freedom, the comedy club. Well, I just like to talk about comedy club, whatever. And and I was gonna say, okay, this is another note I had.
See, I knew there was another good note in there.
Well, I don't know
I
if
could
it's-
tell.
I don't know if it's very exciting. And
I'll make
and then
whatever you say
underneath-
exciting.
Underneath is Jenny on a ledge.
What was the other point?
I was going to ask you, since this comes out Monday and then it's going to be New Year's, are you one of those people, do you care when it goes from December 31st to January 1st? Like, are you like, it's a new year, it's going to have this?
New Year's
Or
is
is
my-
it just another, because to me, I feel like it's just another day in a way. Like,
I mean, I love New Year's Eve. It's my favorite holiday of the year.
but are you into like
love
the
New Year's-
goals and like
No, I don't
2020 is
do-
going to be a different year?
No. But also, I've had I mean, every year of my life, I thought next year couldn't be better than this year was, and every year it's better. So, like, I've never,
That's amazing.
like, I've just always
That's a
had
good
more
life.
fun than I did the last time.
That's great.
Like, I had a better, I mean, I had a great, so this is funny. I'm going to read this to you. So I had this calendar on my wall where I write down all the stuff that I do just because I started doing this in college where I had these journals and it's just not like I felt sad. It's just like exactly what I did. Okay, that's just what I do.
Yeah.
And so my friend Ashley, who's in town, she looked at this calendar. She's like, "Oh, that's kind of neat." And I'm like, "Actually, I have these back from college." So I pulled out this one calendar book.
Oh my God, you're like that guy that was on trial.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Now, by the way,
You're
when they're
Kavanaugh.
like, he's what the? I'm like, no, I did that. Why wouldn't you do that? And again, it's
That's
just because we're having
funny.
fun. We're doing, and it's all funny stories and fun, whatever. So this is literally, I took a picture because it was so funny. So this is March 22nd, 1997. Okay, so this
Wow.
is 22 years ago. This is what I worked. Worked at Houlihan's, watched UCLA versus Minnesota, worked at Houlihan's again, drank 5 shots of tequila, got wasted, ran home, laid in the yard, woke up naked. That is a journal entry from, look at, verify, that's literally from March 22nd, 1997.
That is hilarious.
So that's just like, and I had a great time then, and I'm having just the same amount of great time now. So I mean, like is 2020? I mean, 2020 should be a fun year, right? I think we're gonna like try to emulate the Roaring '20s back in the day because I think there's a lot of anxiety right now where
Yeah.
like we might have 10 years left. I don't think that's true. I think that things keep getting better and better. But I'm talking about climate change and all the all your and Trump and blah blah blah. Like there's people like, oh, this is it. Well, my thing is, look, if this is it, let's fucking go, right? Like if you truly think,
There's people that think there's only 10 years left.
I mean, all the people that are super climate change people are like,
I mean, I know climate change has affected us, but I don't think 10 years is a very short amount for it to like destroy the earth or something.
I'm saying that, whatever. I'm saying there are people who truly think this is the worst time to ever be alive. I mean, I had a buddy, and again, I'm not a Trump guy. I don't like Trump. That's not what I'm saying. But I had a buddy who was like,
Your jacket tells me different.
well, that's why I wear the blue in LA more than the red. And the red does better in Indiana. But but it's Christmas, so I can get away with the red in
Yes.
LA and Christmas. It's Christmas, right? But he said he goes, if Donald Trump gets elected again, that'll be the worst thing that ever happened to America. I'm like, we had a civil war where half the people died, and then we had slavery. And we had the Trail of Tears. There's a lot of shitty things. Like Donald, okay, he's mean in tweets, and
Yeah, it's
whatever.
Just, it's
but
just
like,
gonna be another 4 years.
yeah,
It's
all
not-
he's doing is rolling back the EPA to where it was in the 70s. I mean, it's not like he's whatever. Again, I'm not, but I always have hope. And at the end of the day is, hey, if we all die in 5 years, great. I did it. I lived every moment I needed to. I mean, if I literally walked out of here tonight and got hit by a bus, as I'm getting hit by the bus, I was like, you did it, bro. And I would just die. Like,
And that's
I
what-
wouldn't be like, I had so much left. No, I fucking did everything I ever wanted to do. I had a great time.
How does does he always find the perfect spot? Paul, you are a genius. Musical genius over there.
Okay, can I tell you this? I just realized that the song Jenny's out on the ledge to and Free Bird, which are the same song. I didn't know that till right fucking now.
Oh, you're the one that brought it up.
No, you said Free Bird first. You played the Free Bird
No, but
part.
you said this is when Jenny's out on the ledge.
I didn't in my head make the connection that it was Free Bird. I thought this was the second song. Oh my God, that just blew my mind. Jenny's on the ledge because it's just the instrumental part. It doesn't say Free Bird.
Drink some more Coors Light.
It's just the instrumental part. I'm this year old when I realized that was Free Bird that Jenny was hanging on that ledge to.
That is hilarious. I thought you were the one that made the genius connection.
No, I made the to Jenny in the song, but I didn't know it was. Wow. That literally just fucked me up. I'm going to have to drink this beer now. God damn.
Yeah, please drink it.
I have a bunch of drugs in this other pocket, too.
You're being a pussy right now with that Coors Light.
Are you going out with us?
Yeah, I'm going out until too much snot gathers in my nose and I have to leave. Well, I'm glad that you have that same attitude because sometimes there'll be moments in my day where I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Because I feel like when you said you're partying now the same way you party when you're with that journal entry.
Right.
Sometimes I worry
No,
that this is not normal for me to still be the same.
By the way, normal is bad.
And I'm not saying I'm the same person. I've grown a lot since I was 20. But,
Well, and so have
but
I,
living
but-
the same lifestyle is what I'm
No,
saying.
look, my thing is this. Figure out what makes you happy and do that till it doesn't anymore and then change. So many people are happy. They're having a great time.
I always feel like I'm supposed to be more mature.
That's what I'm saying. They've been convinced by lame people that they're supposed to be more lame.
But
They're like, what are you doing? It's like I have fraternity brothers that will look at me like, oh, so you still just party and hang out with 20-year-old girls? And I'm like, yeah. The fuck is wrong with you? How could you say that to me like that's a bad thing? I'm having the same amount of fun I've had this whole time. I didn't have kids. I mean, I don't have kids. That's part of it. Never have kids. That's
Yeah, I
the
haven't
key
had kids.
to, I mean, I had a.
oh, did that come out of me?
It was. I heard it. In the,
It wasn't a burp. It was
no,
like
it was your body going. Ooh, let's do this.
such a weird
It's
noise.
your body preparing for some fun.
Oops, I dropped my box of Kleenex.
I had a guy one time. I was doing a comedy show, and he's like, hey, can you talk to my nephew's here, and he's like 20, and he wants to be an entrepreneur, and you own a comedy club, so you're an entrepreneur, and so like, can you give him some advice or whatever? And I was like, yeah, it's easy. Don't have children. Then you can do whatever the fuck you want. Right? Like if I had kids, I couldn't do any of this. I couldn't have as little money. I mean, I have no money.
I get
I
that.
have no fucking money. But you can have no money when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like this is
It's
this is
okay to be irresponsible to yourself, but not to other people.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't have to feed anybody. Like this happened 2 weeks ago. My brother turned 40 on like December 2nd, and there was an inside joke when we were kids. So there were 3 of us, and then when my mom got remarried, we had 2 stepbrothers. There was 5 kids at one point, and when we first became a blended family, it was one kid's birthday. The other 4 would go in on a $10 present for their birthday. Well, after a couple years of that, it just deteriorated into when it was your birthday, each person owed you $2.50.
Oh, shut up.
So you'd be like, hey, happy birthday, and we'd hand you $2.50, like in cash, right?
Awful.
And that's what my mom would say. Mom, that's awful. You guys are supposed to buy presents. You're supposed to care about each other. We're like, whatever. And then after a couple years, it was just like you owed me $2.50, but when it was your birthday, then we were even, right? We just didn't even give you these presents. So it was my brother's 40th birthday. So I sent him a text, and I said, hey, do you have Venmo? Because I was going to Venmo him $2.50 because I thought that'd be funny.
That's
But
hilarious.
in my head, I thought, wait, do I have $2.50?
Oh, Jesus.
So I checked my checking account, and I had $13.10 in there. And my first thought was, oh, no, you're good. You totally have $2.50, bro. You can do this all day long.
And
Like-
this is the life of a comic in LA.
Yeah, no part of it was like, oh, fuck, I have $13.10. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I was perfectly willing to spend 18% of my net worth
Oh, my God.
on a joke that turns out he didn't even remember. He didn't even get the goddamn joke. I'm like, do you guys not remember the $2.50? They're like, none of my brothers, we were at Christmas. They're like,
How
no.
would he not remember?
They didn't. I don't know. I have a great memory, and most people don't. Like, I remember all kinds of random shit.
Yeah, but the
And-
way you described it sounds like it was something that went on for
Well,
years.
in my head, it did. But I mean, again, they just. My mom said to me, she goes, that sounds like something you guys would do and something I'd be mad about.
Oh,
But-
she
but
didn't even
she didn't
remember.
No, nobody remembered but me.
Uh-oh.
So it's like, yeah, that is the story of my life, is spending 18% of my net worth on a joke that nobody gets.
That's so funny.
But literally, I'm like, oh, I'm good. And I'm like, who thinks that? Who looks at their bank account as $13.10 and goes, oh, I'm totally fine.
Well, as long as you paid your rent.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and again, I mean, Chrissy helps me out with that, and we've had a symbiotic thing, like where for times I supported her when she was younger, and now she's helping me out while I'm out here. But I'm going to get a job in in January.
But your motivational speaking does pretty well, doesn't it?
It's dried up a bunch. It's a whole different. It banged for a long time.
Is it
was
harder
really good.
being out in LA or
No,
just dried up?
It's just kids aren't allowed out of class anymore because they have to teach all these standardized tests, and they don't do character education anymore, which is one of the things I was talking about, and it's just, and even like leadership conference, it's just not a thing as it used to be, and I'm not as motivated, and I mean, like when it was my only thing, like now comedy's my life, and that's what I want to do, and I'll do speaking gigs to pay for my life, and also too, I'm 46. When you're 25, you're more in demand. Like I never got booked by the adults. I always got booked by the kids.
I would think if you're
So
a speaker, they would want an older person who
So
has
the-
more
the-
wisdom.
I'm talking about the kids though. I'm saying so I never got booked. Like I've never been an adult bonder. So like the woman in her 40s who like is in charge of the conference, I'm not gonna relate with her. Like I don't have kids. I'm a crazy whatever. But like I've spent my whole life to make a 17-year-old kid think I was awesome.
Gotcha.
So when I was 25, I'd go speak at a conference, and they're like, "We gotta have this cool guy come to our school." And now I still can talk. When I talk to kids, it's not like they don't enjoy it or buy in, but it's not quite the same as when I was 25 or 30.
You should be doing cruise ships, dude.
Yeah, I mean, again,
That's why Christina's all over it.
I should be doing lots of stuff. I mean, I want to get in a cruise ship.
I know it's a hard market to get into, but you are so perfect.
Oh, I'd be perfect. I mean, I've always said if I wasn't a motivational speaker or stand-up comic, I'd be a cruise ship. I'd be a director on a cruise ship.
You would be the highlight of
and if I wasn't that, I'd be a marriage counselor. But I want to be a marriage counselor that specializes in people getting divorced. Because there's a lot of marriages that shouldn't work out. Like, you guys just need to be
like
done.
you want to encourage them to
I'm
get
gonna
divorced?
help you get divorced and not be dicks about it.
That's a great job.
Like, no one does that. It's all about trying to get these. No, you shouldn't be married. This doesn't work anymore. How do we make you not hate each other and get to the point where you can be okay and be happy for each other?
You need to market yourself that way because that's a really good job.
I think you need a degree. I don't know, but you think
well,
you need a
not
degree
these
for that?
days.
I don't know, maybe not. But I'm saying like because I just think that like most people, not most people, there's a lot of people.
It's like a life coach. You don't need a degree to be a life coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to have a thing on the wall,
I just don't know.
diploma, but
I just don't. My problem is I don't think any couple's going to go. You know what? We do need to get divorced. Any couple that's self-aware enough to go, we need to get divorced in a way that we're not going to hate each other, doesn't need me. Like here's what I need. I need to market myself to. I just came up with this. I need to market myself to marriage counselors when they know it's not going to work. They go here's the ripcord guy.
Yeah.
You guys should be done. Call this guy. He'll get you through it where you don't hate each other. 'Cause that's the problem. It's like I think so many relationships, they both know it doesn't work, but neither one will leave because they want the other one to admit it was their fault.
I think you're really onto something because if you market it like it only takes 2 sessions, so they're not going into therapy. Like some people, if their marriage isn't working out, they go into therapy and they stay in couples therapy for a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
But you're marketing it like, hey, if you already feel like it's not going to work,
Come to me.
2 or 3 sessions,
and I'll help you figure it out.
I'll help you leave as friends.
Yeah, because like me and my second wife, she
Because
married
if you're making it quick, not
my second wife married my best friend, and I was in their wedding. I was a groomsman in their wedding. Like I'm
that is
super
crazy.
happy for them. But like like when we got divorced, instead of like arguing about how to divide. Now we didn't have kids, but other than arguing about our stuff, we had a fantasy football style divorce draft for our stuff.
Oh my god.
It was a
So
serpentine
funny.
draft. We invited all our
You
all
invited your
up.
friends?
Yeah, and so it was like
It's gonna blow my nose.
with the first selection in the divorce draft, Angela selects the big TV from the living room.
Oh my god.
And
Are
we
you
just-
serious?
Yeah, and we just divided it all up.
And what did your friends do?
They just
They were just
fucking-
there for emotional
They were
support.
there, and they just loved us, and they were like,
Drinking?
and they were laughing, and we were all drinking and having a good time.
That is hilarious.
and
I've
like-
never heard anything like that
Yeah,
before.
and so in a fantasy football draft, it's not about what you get; it's where you get them. It's all value picks, right? So we had like 2 rental properties in this big house, and so I knew I had a thing, and so like in the 11th round, we're like all the good shit's going. The 11th round, you're
That's
dividing
amazing.
up records and shit, and so finally I'm like, you know what? She's like, I'll take the nightstand from the spare bedroom, and I'm like, I'm going to take the pool table from the Broad Ripple house. And she's like, fuck, I forgot about the pool table. I'm like, I knew you would. So I got a pool table in the 11th round worth $5,000. It was like it was like picking up Lamar Jackson in the 15th round this year. It was like the greatest fucking pick
That
in
is
the
awesome.
history of door sets. But like when we went to mediation because we didn't get, and our mediator was like, all right, it's a 3-hour retainer. And we're like, we're going to need that much time. She's like, well, there's an hour of paperwork, and it usually takes at least 2 hours. And we're like, we're not going to need that much time. And like, we were done in 35 minutes. Like, she was just
Wow.
like, and literally, she's like, why are you guys even getting divorced? And we're like, nah, it's just not, I'm like, actually, I go, she won't leave her stupid boyfriend. She's like, he won't leave his stupid girlfriend. I'm like, well, that's.
So did you ended up getting divorced because of the open relationship for real, or is that just kind of a joke?
No, I mean, basically, what happened was, now ours was no sex, right? So we were open but no sex, and then she had sex with a guy from work and had an affair and was going to leave me for him, and then we got back together. We figured it out or whatever. But in my head, I was like, "Why get to fuck one person?" Which is not a good attitude. That's not the way you should think about it. But that's the way I thought about it. And so then there was this girl I decided I wanted to have sex with, and then I just flipped for her. It was just a whole different thing. And then when I could tell that I liked her, and Angela and I were great together, but it wasn't that last piece.
Yeah.
Like, we were super fun. We liked all the same shows. We liked the same teams. It was fine. We had a
I
great
feel
time.
like 10 years is a good run.
Yeah, it was a great run. And ultimately too, she wanted to have kids, and I didn't. Like, she
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
want to have.
that's
She
big.
didn't want to have kids in her 20s. And then when she got to be 32 or whatever, she was like, I do kind of want to have kids. So there was that on us too. And so in my head, I'm like, well, I'll fuck this one last girl, and then we'll have kids. I wasn't really into it, but then so I don't know if it was didn't want to have kids, or I really liked this girl. I didn't end up with her ultimately, but like that. So then when I knew I liked this girl, my buddy, I knew always loved her. So I just nudged them together. Like, Ed was always in love with her, so I was like, I just kind of
Gotcha.
like if I ever write a movie about this, the one of the fun. So it was my 35th birthday. That's when this all went down, right? So it was my 35th birthday, and we're out singing karaoke at this bar, me and like 50 of my friends, and I go to the bathroom, and it's me and Ed just randomly next to each other at urinals. We didn't go in there together. We just happened to be in there at the same time. And there's one other dude we don't know. He's like washing his hands at the sink, and Ed says to me, he goes, "Hey man, I'll make you this promise. No matter what happens, I will never fuck your wife." And I said, "What if you were really helping me out?"
Oh, shit.
And this dude washes his hands and goes, "What the actual fuck are you guys talking about?"
That's amazing.
So that's a true story. That's a real thing. That happened.
Also, there's words that have never come out of my mouth are 50 of my friends. How
Well-
many friends? I have like 2.
I mean, there was a moment where I because that's the thing. Like, so when me and Angela, we had a golf tournament. We also had a golf tournament for my birthday. My birthday used to last like
You
7
are very
days.
social.
Yeah,
I
my
know.
birthday used to last like 7 days, and we had a golf tournament, and that was the day after the karaoke thing. So we go, and Angela and Ed were always golf partners because I don't like to be a partner on a golf tournament. I want to drive the beer truck and drive around and see everybody because I don't want to hang out with 3 people for 5 hours. I want to hang out with everybody,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I had to drive the beer car around. So anyway, after the little thing, I could tell she was depressed, right? I'm like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Well," I'm like, "Let's take a walk." So we took a walk. And she's like, and I think she'd be mad at me for fucking this Lauren girl, right? I think she's going to like tear into me like she figured it out. And she goes, "I'm a terrible person." I go, "Why?" And she goes, "I think I'm in love with Ed." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm in love with Lauren."
Perfect.
She's like, "Really?" I go, "Are you mad at me?" She goes, "No." "Are you mad at me?" I go, "No." I go, "What do you want to do?" She goes, "I kind of want to see where this goes." I go, "I do too."
Wow, you guys are amazing.
So she's like,
Who
like,
are
"Well,
you
hey,
people?"
You've been an amazing husband, and I love you, and I'll always love you." And I gave her a big hug. I said, "Okay, well, let's make this happen." So we literally walked to the bar, went to this bar where our favorite band was playing, and I'm not kidding you, there's 125 people there. We all got there early, 125 people for my birthday. And so I I stood up, and I did a little tink, tink, tink on the glass, and I go, "All right, guys, this is going to be weird, but I'm in love with Lauren, Angela's in love with Ed, so we're going to get divorced and date these people. So anyway, have a fun party." And people's fucking heads flew off. They could not fucking handle it. It was amazing. And then,
Were Ed and Lauren there?
yeah, for sure. And then,
They didn't know you were going to make that announcement.
no,
though.
I told her right ahead, and she told him.
Oh,
So we go,
okay, okay.
"Here's what we're gonna do," and then we went up and said it, and then like people flipped out, but we were fine.
Wow.
In fact, like so then,
And then you all just partied all night?
and then we partied all night, and then like me and Angela lived together for like 4 more months after that, while we figured everything out. And so like one night, Ed and her would stay at our big house, and one night me and Lauren would stay at our big house because Ed and Lauren lived in rental properties we had next door to each other.
Who are you people?
So what's really fucked up is every Sunday for like 2 months after that, we would have what we called family dinner, where me and Angela and Ed and Lauren, the four of us, would have dinner together. We'd make dinner and hang out, and then we'd Rochambeau for the master bedroom, and then go do our own thing.
My God.
So yeah, so we're weirdos, but
You're not weirdos. No, hey, you made it work. Fucking Paul. On point tonight.
So we have 5 minutes left. We have 5 minutes left.
God,
All right.
Paul, you're
Let me tell you about
amazing.
my dad. No, actually,
Oh my God.
I'm gonna. Here's the story I want to end on. Right, if we got 5 minutes, I think I can make
Take
this.
it.
That works. So
It's all you. I'll
So
just
this is
be
part of
back here
this
with
is-
my box of
this is
Kleenex.
this is part of who I am. So my parents got divorced when I was like 12. So my dad's always kind of my buddy, and my dad is the king of the titty bar. Now he's 70 years old, right? But he still crushes titty bars, right? That's just where he goes. Yeah. But my whole life he's like that. So I turned 19. I got a
great.
fake ID. I didn't know. I called my dad. I said, Dad, I got a fake. Let's go to a bar. I think we're going to a sports bar or something. No, he takes me to a fucking titty bar. We walk in. Hottest girl I've ever seen in my life is dancing on stage. It's packed. And she looks at my dad and goes, "Oh my God, Scott!" And runs down the stairs and gives my dad a hug. I'm like, "Holy shit, my dad's a pimp, right?" Then she yells, "Hey, Scott's here!" 8 other girls come running out of the dressing room. Like,
You're a really good tipper?
yeah, I mean,
Or
it's
they-
all of that. I mean,
they just
it's
love
just
him that much?
it's just the whole thing. Like, he's just whatever. So anyway, so he always has a stripper that's like his stripper. Like, he's very loyal for like 3 or 5 years till she like ages out or whatever. So because she can't be a stripper forever, right?
Ages
So,
out.
well, he's 70, so it's not like he's going to 70-year-old strippers at this point, right? So anyway, so his stripper right now is named Michelle, right? So he lives in Orlando, Florida, and I was down there visiting like 2 months ago, and I said, "Hey, let's go to Top Golf," which is, if you ever do
Yeah.
it's super fun. It's like bowling and
I've
golf
been there.
combined.
It's
So
amazing.
there's one in Tampa. He goes, "Well, hey, Michelle's club's over there, so we'll go to Top Golf, and then we'll go see Michelle at her club." He goes, "Well, I'll text her, make sure she's working." So he texts her, and he goes, "Oh, well, she's not working, but she said she'd come to the Top Golf and hang out with us." I'm like, "Cool." He goes, "And she's going to bring her fat friend because she has the car, right?" So as a joke, I go, "Well, if I'm going to hang out with the fat friend, then I'm going to have to drink some, and you're going to have to drive." And he goes, "Yeah, that's cool, man, but you do know that you're my fat friend, right?"
Oh, shit.
I was like, "What, motherfucker?" It like was just an arrow through the heart. When your 70-year-old dad fucking crushes you that hard, I was like, "Fuck!" And then he goes, "I mean, she could bring a hotter friend, but you."
Oh, my God. That is hilarious.
Yeah, so that's.
Did you hook up with the friend?
They didn't show up. The fat friend saw a picture, anyway, and didn't make it.
Oh, that sucks. You're a good-looking dude.
Thank you. I
Can
appreciate
you give me
that.
the name of that club? Because I'm going to Orlando in January.
I'll give you the name of my dad.
Well, no, I'm
No,
scared.
You should take my dad. You should
I
go
am
with
not
my dad.
gonna contact
No, you should
your
go hang
dad.
out with my dad. You would have a blast hanging out with my dad.
Not just the two of us.
No, he's not gonna hit on you.
Oh, I'm too old.
Yes.
You're like, Jen, you're the fat friend too. Shit, I'm the fat friend too.
You're not the fat friend. You're old. No, I'm kidding.
you-
No, he's no. I'm saying my dad's a very respectful person. He's not gonna just hit on one of my friends, but he will take you out and make you have a fun time. My dad's a fun dude.
That's hilarious.
Like we were at the Indy 500 once, and there's this girl. I met her at a comedy show, super cute girl, and then I met her later at a bar. And when she went to pull on her phone to put my phone number in, she had Googled me, and it was a picture of me from Google. And I'm like, "Ooh, Googling me, what's up?" She goes, "Yeah, you look exactly like my brother." And I'm like, "Well, that's not good, right?"
That's gross.
So then I go. So months later, years later, we're at the Indy 500 and a tent party, and my dad's there. And I go, "Oh, this is Kathleen." I said, "And her brother looks like me." And he goes, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah." She pulls up a picture, and he goes, "That does look like you." And he looks at her, and he goes, "What's your mom's name?" I was like, "Oh, shit." My dad just said he fucked your mom.
And this has been Jillin Off with Jen Murphy and Chris Bowers.
I've had absolute blast, Jen. This is great.
I love you. Thank you
And let's
so
go get
much.
fucked up. Let's go get fucked
and
up.
Paul Antonio fucking
Paul
killing
Antonio,
it.
Thanks so much with the
musical
over there.
cues.
By the way, that's going to be the theme for my life the rest of my life. I didn't know it, but I knew it. You ever have a thing you knew but you didn't know and now you know?
I know.
That's where
Yeah,
we are.
all the time. All right. Thank you so much.